Hello and welcome to the Paleolibertarian Gang channel. Before I begin creating content on subject matters such as politics, social issues, and current events, I would like to outline the underlying philosophy and political ideology that I subscribe to, which is, unsurprisingly, that of Paleolibertarianism. But what is Paleolibertarianism? First off, I'll break the word down into its two constituent parts, paleo and libertarianism. The prefix paleo simply means old, in this case referring to a reverence for tradition and culture. Libertarianism, as I'm sure most watching are aware, is an ideology that, broadly speaking, is based around an opposition to the use of force by the state and which values free markets and liberty. Therefore, by putting these two together, we get an ideology that upholds tradition, culture, liberty, and free markets. But it runs deeper than that. Paleolibertarianism fundamentally rejects the sovereignty of any state over man, the cultural Marxism and multiculturalism pushed onto us by today's leftists, and believes unapologetically that Western culture is what has built the modern world, is what holds it together, and must be cherished. In other words, paleolibertarians believe that the man is greater than the state, but that tradition and culture are what allow man to flourish and to appreciate liberty from the state. In a perfect paleolibertarian world, envisioned by such great minds as Hans Hermann Hoppe, people would live in voluntary, contractual societies known as covenant communities. Entry would be based on the signing of agreements, or covenants, that would be able to restrict certain behaviors, such as the promotion of communism, democracy, or sexual degeneracy. Any who violate these rules would be physically removed, so to speak. I simply see covenant communities as the logical, voluntary, property-based alternative to modern states, and they are much more ethical because of their voluntary nature. Of course, they will never be achieved in our lifetimes, though they are a good look at the end goal of paleolibertarianism, and I could make an entirely separate video on the idea of covenant communities themselves. Paleolibertarianism is a part of the broader right-wing populist phenomenon that has swept across North America and Europe in recent years. People are dissatisfied with the establishment's status quo, and rightfully so. Wherever the establishment is, and whatever side of the aisle they are on politically, they always act in the interests of global entities and lofty ideas such as human rights and international cooperation, rather than in the interests of their own people. The establishment violates the natural liberty of man simply by existing in the form of a coercive state. The establishment encourages the defiling of Western culture at home by cultural Marxists and facilitates the invasion of Western countries by so-called refugees and migrants, who, in most cases, hold a culture and religion diametrically opposed to our own, making clashes inevitable. For the West to survive in the future, and for true liberty to be achieved, an alternative must be proposed. Unfortunately, many in the alternative right agree with the left on the very same economic policies that contribute so much to the current downward spiral of the West. They think that increasing welfare, expanding nationalized industries, and restricting free enterprise is completely fine so long as whites are the ones who will benefit. In reality, true liberty can only be achieved by the right mixture of a shift back to demographic homogeneity, a reverence for the Western culture that brought us so far in the first place, and the abolition of the state. That is paleolibertarianism. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this, and I hope to continue producing similar content. See you later.